Hello, everybody. This is Toni Turner, and welcome to the Market Now as of Friday, December 27th at about 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, before we start, please know that all of us at ToniTurner.com and Toni's Market Club wish all of you a happy, healthy, and very prosperous new year. And now, on to the market. The S&P 500 and the Dow inched to fresh record highs earlier today as hopes of an imminent U.S.-China trade deal and an improving global economy continued to fuel our year-end rally. Santa has been very kind to us. The benchmark S&P 500 index, which is about a half a percentage point shy of logging its best year since 1997, has hit several records this month on hopes of an imminent truce between the world's two largest economies. And of course, we're talking about the U.S. and China. And now let's go on to three charts that could give us some insight into the week to come. Now, speaking of the S&P 500, our first chart today is a chart of the S&P 500 SPDR, SPY. Of course, this is the exchange-traded fund that closely follows our S&P 500 benchmark index. Now, when I captured this chart today, the SPY was trading at $323.11 after making a new all-time intraday high today, yet another new one, at $323.80. Now, Thursday, it closed at yet another new all-time closing high at $322.94. So we've got about a half hour right now to see today, Friday, to see if the SPY can beat its yesterday, Thursday high, again at $322.94. Now that's about $32.29 on the S&P 500 itself. Now this is the good news, and we know that the SPY has been pretty much trading above the red line, the 20-day moving average. Not on it, but above it, and that's very cool. We've had one heck of a fantastic rally since September. If we want to worry a little bit, I'm a trader, of course I worry. We're going to look down here again, as we did last week and the week before, at the 14-day RSI. Now, as you can see, the 14-day RSI is now trading. This is the 70 line. Whenever it's above that line, we know that there could be a pause or some profit taking come in pretty soon. It means the market is stretched very, very tight to the high side. So again, the RSI now is at 77.65. That's on the high side. We can look back and see again when we got pauses or dips whenever that happened before. Here's one right here in November. There's the dip. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. But even back here, back in April, we see the RSI moved above the 70 line right there, and then down came the market for a little bit. So we want to be careful here. We've had a fantastic market, and I'm not in the mood to give back my profits that Santa's given me. So we'll talk about this a little more. We also want to note that today, the SPY up here, as we've talked about, is making a new all-time high on low volume. Now, typically this time of year is low volume because so many people, so many of the big institutional traders and so many of us are on vacation, are doing different things, not glued to the market. And still a new high on low volume is something that we want to consider. Sometimes it can be a slight negative. So we've got the high RSI, we've got the new high on low volume, and we're in a really, really good place here. However, we will see next week if the S&P can continue this high energy run up or if it needs to pause and rest. And we've been saying that now for quite some time. The SPY has nearby price support here at about 320, and we've got the 20-day moving average coming in again at about 317. Which could offer support. We have price support there as well, so that's good. We've got lots of price support all the way down here. Certainly, if the 50-day moving average right now is at $310.84. Of course, should the SPY come down a little bit, this will be in a different place. It probably will have risen a little bit, but the 50-day moving average has a tendency to provide support if the market needs to pause here, but we'll see going into next week what it does. Now, I am now in the process of taking some profits on some of the momentum stocks that I'm in. I'm firming up my stops on less volatile positions. I want to keep my profits safe going into the new year. These are glorious profits, and I'm not giving them back. So if I miss out on a little tiny bit more of a market up move, I still believe firmly that lost opportunity is a lot less expensive than lost money. So on that note, let's go on to our next chart here. Now we'll look at the Invesco QQQ, symbol QQQ. As you all know, this particular ETF represents the Nasdaq 100, very important index in the stock market. The components include the top large cap tech stocks and the top, of course, the whole index represents the top non-financial stocks in the Nasdaq stock market. Now, today when I captured this chart, the QQQ2 was also making a new all-time high. It ran up to, right now I should say, it's trading at $213.88. It ran up to a few cents above that earlier in the day, closer to $214. Now, again, trading at $213.88. It made a new all-time closing high on Thursday at $213.79. So we'll see if it beats that today. Now, like the, of course, it's trading over the 20-day moving average, trading up in this lovely channel, a similar one that we've seen to the SPY. And so if we look down, though, at the RSI, we see that the QQQ RSI is actually up to 80 now, over the 70 line and up to 80. So it is very overbought right now. Like the SPY, it's making a new high on low volume. These aren't terrible points to make, but there's something that we do want to note, especially since the market has really run up to stretch up real high to these new all-time highs. That's a good thing, but usually when that happens, there is a pause here at some point. Now, price support here sits at right down here at 211. That's not a straight line, is it? Down here at 211, then down closer to 206, and that's just a little bit below the 20-day moving average, which could provide some support should the QQQ need to take a pause here. So we've got price support all the way down here at 201 and all the way down, again, should it need to pause because it is so overbought right now and stretched so tight right now. We will see in the coming week if the QQQ can continue to soar into this blue sky territory. However, to keep my profits in place, again, I have taken some profits on volatile stocks, and I am raising stops on remaining positions to be on the safe side and to keep my profits intact. Okay, let's go on and look at our final chart now. We haven't looked at this in quite a while. This is the Global X Fintech ETF, symbol FINX. Fintech's top holdings include Fiserv, Fidelity National, Intuit, and PayPal. Now, this is a relatively new ETF. It opened in September 2016. It did make, back here you can see on this chart, it made a all-time closing high on July 26th at $31.23. Then it fell from there, and notice it was starting to get overbought. It fell from there down pretty dramatically. Of course, the market did too, I believe, down to these August lows. Then bounced back up in September. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this date. Yeah, in September, it bounced back up and up to about 30. Then it made a pretty volatile fall, again back down. And it's kind of wandered around since then, falling actually below its 200-day moving average in October of 2019. Then moving back higher again, you can almost see here an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which are very bullish when they work out right, and this one certainly looks like it did. So it popped back over in November. It moved back up over its 50-day moving average, up to this 30 mark. It seems to want to get up to this 30 mark and then kind of slow down. So it's pulled back since then in December, now made a hammer pattern right here on this date and has now moved back up over its 20-day moving average. So in the coming week, today as we're looking at this chart, it's at $30.61. I want to wait and see. It may have to pull back first, and if it can move back up and close up over this $30, which seems to be this $30 is a resistance point here. If during the coming week the FINX can move up over 30, up toward 31 and stay there, I will possibly add shares of this ETF to my portfolio. Now, I'm going to place my initial stop as a close below the 50-day moving average, which is now coming in at $29.39. If the FINX can move up and over the 31.23 all-time high, in the future here, we'll see how far it can get with the market stretched so tight, but when and if it does, I may add shares to my portfolio, and by then I will have a trailing stop on it. I could add more shares to that initial position. So if the market continues to be strong in the coming week, you may want to keep an eye on the FINX as it may have a little more room to go. And now on to the next week's Cummings economic reports. But first, please join us this coming Monday for our next session of Tony's Market Club. If you're not sure how you can make money in the market right now, let us help. During our session, we'll talk about which side of the market to trade, have a mini trading lesson, and I'll give you stocks and exchange-traded funds that may be ripe for high potential trades. Can't attend the live session? Not a problem. The recording is available to all of our members just a few minutes after the session ends. Plus, every Thursday, you receive the Thursday update that tells you what to do with each of your positions. This is a low-priced, high-value opportunity to learn more about the market and learn how to trade more successfully. So please join us. For more information, go to the link on this screen or simply click on the button below. And now for the upcoming week's economic reports. On Monday, we have the Chicago PMI. On Tuesday, we have the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index and Consumer Confidence. On Wednesday, the market will be closed for New Year's Day. Thursday, we'll have our usual jobless claims. And Friday, we'll have our auto and truck sales, the ISM Manufacturing Index, which is always very important, our delayed oil and gas, nat gas inventories. So again, please join us this coming Monday for our next session of Tony's Market Club. Don't miss out on this terrific opportunity to increase your trading profits. Until next week, Happy New Year. Keep green on your screen. I'm Toni Turner, and this is The Market Now.